Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the FearFans podcast. I'm your host, Don Elmy, and with me is my co-host, Nick Mulay. And joining us is the head of Things Network, Jeremy York. And tonight we are looking at a fairly what was considered a controversial film when it first was released, which is turned into a cult classic during the holiday season, and it's Silent Night, Deadly Night. And it was released in 1984 and pulled from theaters about a week after it was released because people weren't ready for a killer Santa movie, I guess.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy to think it was also pretty much just about right at the end of the slasher craze of the early to mid 80s. And that last one happened to be controversial compared to all the previous slasher films that were made during that period.
Oh, yeah, I hear that. But this film, like a lot of people protested it, like all kinds of families and just people who were basically people who just loved Christmas, including actor Mickey Rooney. I don't know if you heard this thing, but Mickey Rooney protested this film, saying saying that it was destroying the holiday spirit, and also, like, I actually found exactly what he said on here. Okay, he stated, and I quote, "How dare they?"
On.
Hi, Chantel. Good to see you again.
Hello. And so I have what he said here. Here he said, and I quote, "How dare they? I'm all for the First Amendment, but don't give me Santa Claus with a gun going to kill someone. The scum, the scum who made that movie should be run out of town." So he was pissed. He was pissed.
Which is kind of ironic because, well, I'll wait until a little bit later in the show because there's something that's involving Mickey Rooney as well, kind of involving that movie. But I'll wait till as we get closer to the end.
We're now live on TikTok.
Oh, we're on TikTok now. Okay, great.
Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. So, I first saw this movie a few years ago, and I thought, it looks like a campy, cheesy flick. But my first time ever, like, seeing the cover, I first learned about this movie when I was a little kid, when I was browsing all kinds of movies that I wasn't allowed to see at the time at Blockbuster. And I saw that title, and I was making fun of it. Just singing Silent Night, Deadly Night.
I actually wrote a lyric just like that. Silent Night, Deadly Night, and I set it to the tune of Silent Night.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So, Nick, when did you first see Silent Night, Deadly Night?
Oh man, it was a while back. I think it was probably back when I was in high school, to be honest with you, because that's when I just had a complete obsession with slasher movies for the most part. And Silent Night, Deadly Night was one of them, of course, understandably. Unlike the other slasher films, I actually waited till the holiday Christmas season to watch it. So, but yeah, it was a while back. I need to rewatch it one of these days.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely gets you into the holiday spirit, I guess.
Well, it's basically sorry, I should have got this ready just before we went on, but I always love the title. The tagline, which is, this is what I always think of when it comes to Silent Night, Deadly Night. I'm just gonna play this really quickly.
Okay.
That's weird. Why isn't the noise coming out? Sound was working just fine a minute ago. Oh, it's because it was on silent mode. That's why. Okay, I'm thinking, wait a minute.
Night.
What's that?
It was on silent night mode.
Silent night mode. Okay.
Originally Silent Night, Deadly Night was not the title when they first came up with this thing.
No, it wasn't.
Huh.
Okay, here we go. Now I can try to play this. It's that famous tagline that I love from that movie. You made it through Halloween. Now try to survive Christmas.
Yep.
Michael
and the secondary tagline with it too.
Yeah.
So Halloween, you survived Michael Myers, but now face Santa.
Who's worse, apparently.
Yeah. The second tagline is, he knows who's been naughty.
And another tagline is, I'm dreaming of a red Christmas.
Which that in itself is the title of another horror movie.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's Red Christmas, Evil Christmas. I actually found a website that was talking about Christmas horror movies, and they had some 30 or 40 of them. I think I sent you guys the link, but I'm not positive.
I think you did. Hang on.
Yeah, I had a bunch of titles that I hadn't heard of before.
There was also another movie that was made actually almost like 10 years earlier, back in the 70s, that had a similar title, and that was Silent Night, Bloody Night.
I've heard of that. Did that come out around the same time that Black Christmas did?
Yeah, 1974.
Okay.
Oh yeah, Black Christmas, the film that sparked the slasher craze.
It was also, of course, as well, I'll say quickly, it was also one of the first horror films of its kind, not only just to have the holiday Christmas theme, but was also one of the first horror movies to combine both the slasher genre and murder mystery genre together.
Original Black Christmas. I've only seen the remake, the first remake.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's all I got to say.
It's so long since I've seen it. I don't really even remember it. I have it. But I'm going to be watching it at some point in the next 9 days. But I do have.
Oh, that remake is terrible.
Oh my god. Yeah, that remake.
Well, if I've never seen the original, then I have nothing to base it off of.
I mean, it does have some good cast members in it. You know, Mary Elizabeth Winstead. But the story wise, it's just a mess.
Is it?
It is. It really is a mess. I mean, the only good part of maybe anything is all the gory effects, but that's pretty much it. And actually, I just looked up that movie, Silent Night, Bloody Night. It actually came a little bit before Black Christmas did. It actually came out 2 years earlier in 1970. And that was November of 1972.
Oh, okay.
The full film now is on. I'm looking on Wikipedia on it. Actually, the full movie is on the Wikipedia page. You can watch the full movie there.
Really?
Yeah, you just go on Wikipedia, type in Silent Night, Bloody Night, and it's right there.
Yeah. Usually they put movies for free on there like that for one reason, and it's not that great of a film, and they're just like, we're probably not going to make much money off of it, so we'll just put it on for free.
Probably also public domain. That's right. Like a movie like one of our previous movies we talked about. You could also watch a movie like Night of the Living Dead on Wikipedia because that's public domain.
It is public domain, yeah, because all because George Romero made the rookie mistake and not had it copywritten.
Yep. It sounds like this was the same thing for this movie.
What I read, it wasn't him that made the mistake. It was somebody that was in charge of that.
Right.
Copyright.
Yep. And what was it? Oh yeah, and also this film tackles the issue about childhood traumas and how, if gone unchecked, it can lead to dire consequences.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Deadly consequences as well.
Oh yeah, because when a child witnesses something like a horrific, remember that the mind is not fully developed yet. It has yet to be able to process certain things appropriately. But of course he was put under the care of a abusive mother superior, and which fractured his psyche even worse.
Yeah, it just added fuel to the fire.
Killing your parents, that's going to have an effect on you.
Yeah, it is. And when you have someone who's basically acting abusive, like I just said, that adds fuel to the fire.
Yeah, and I mean, witnessing a guy dressed as Santa killing your parents, that's messed up.
Yeah,
they're pretty traumatized.
So when you look at the basis of Silent Night, Deadly Night, every bit of that movie can actually happen. Hey, Donald.
Hey, Donald. How's it going?
Hey,
Donald, how you doing?
It can actually happen.
Hey, Donald. Welcome to the podcast. I'm guessing you're a fan of this movie as well.
Yeah, hold on. I'm getting two feeds. Hold on.
Okay.
So I I didn't get any of what he was just saying. It sounded like the sound was going in and out.
He was trying to get something.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Oh, yep. Now we can hear you better.
All right, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I watched it. Actually, watched it yesterday,
Oh,
just to refresh my memory on the whole genre. Tried to sit and watch through two, but I just couldn't.
yeah. 2 is like considered kind of like a cheesy and kind of a laughably bad sequel, but it did. But in recent years, the one line from it became popularized, a popular internet meme. You know what I'm talking about, Nick.
Yeah, I remember it. God.
All right, so I got this thing pulled up here. So the original idea of Silent Night, Deadly Night came from a short story that was written by a student in Harvard University, of all places, titled "He Sees You When You're Sleeping." Yeah. So when the executive producer started working on this film, it was originally titled Sleigh Ride.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah. And then later on, they TriStar changed the name from Sleigh Ride to Deadly Night to Silent Night, Deadly Night, which I think is more appropriate because Sleigh Ride would not have exactly fit with the premise of this movie.
No,
Yeah.
because last time I checked, Billy in this film never rides a sleigh. So
There's no sleigh in it at all.
No, there's not. So it's almost like the title wouldn't really make too much sense. There's not even a sleigh in it.
yeah,
Right.
the title would have been a lie to those who enjoy sleigh rides. They're like, oh, they go to this movie, they see it, no sleighs, and they're like, oh, we got ripped off.
Yeah.
Well, I think they also would probably say the title doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So it was probably a good thing that they used the other title, Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Well, when I see the title Sleigh Ride, I'm thinking something very, very independent.
Hey, Brad.
Hey,
All right,
man.
Brett. I'm thinking of a very, very independent, very low budget film. That title goes more towards that. Silent Night, Deadly Night, as that can go either way. And this film was probably a low budget as well.
I was thinking the same thing. I think it was.
I
But,
think I did where it
let's
was
see here. Oh, the
700,000.
budget was $750,000. But I thought it was done very well for the kind of budget that they did have.
Oh yeah, they maintained their budget pretty well with this film. You know, like I feel like the way they filmed that, I could tell that it was low budget. And and I should mention, as I like rewatched it last year, I actually noticed like now like seeing it in high def, in 4K, that some of the shots in there were like more grainy than other shots. I'm wondering if it's like an uncut. There was like an uncut version that I saw where it had
I
that
saw
kind of
that.
like it. Yeah, the same kind of thing happened with the original My Bloody Valentine. Where there was an uncut version where they couldn't, restore it as well as other shots. Like the uncut version, it had like some grainy image as well.
He's got the DVD.
Yeah. On this version, it even says right at the beginning of the show that this was the original version plus scenes that was left on the cutting room floor, and that the quality of the film was not going to match. So that there were going to be, so it does, at least on this one, it does say that there will be some scenes in there that are not as good a quality.
Excuse me, guys.
Yeah, there was
I'll be right back.
scene. There was a scene in the toy store of him where I saw the quality change for just like, I don't know, maybe 10 seconds.
That was probably one of them.
That's one of several. This happens like several times in the film, like including the scenes where he finds the boyfriend girlfriend, Lena Quigley, and Yeah, there was like that shot of like when she was impaled on the antlers, and the grainy image on there as well.
I guess
That was probably, honestly, I'm not saying this because of this, but that was one of the best scenes since it had Scream Queen star Linnea Quigley in it, who was known to star in a lot of those, not just slasher films, but a lot of horror films throughout the 1980s and early 90s.
Oh yeah, the two that stand out aside from this film, Return of the Living Dead and Night of the Demons.
Yep.
Yeah. So, and Night of the Living Dead, one of my favorite zombie movies.
I thought you said Return was.
I said Return of the Living Dead, one of my all-time favorite zombie movies. Return of the Living
You said Night originally.
Oh, I did?
So, yeah, you did.
Oh, well, Night of the Living Dead is one as well. Another favorite as well.
Hey, Adrian's here. What's up, Adrian?
Hi, Adrian.
Hey, Adrian. How's it going? Thank you for tuning in. Yeah, just diving into some more holiday horror. And
I remember right, Night of the Living Dead was the first zombie movie I'd ever seen.
Oh yeah, it's definitely the first
VHS, the black and white version. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
They messed it up when they tried to colorize it.
They have a few times, and I don't know what it is. It just seems like it's just seems like the first one for everybody. So, but yeah, it's been colorized a few times.
It's the first zombie movie of its kind. It's pretty much created the modern zombie because
Exactly.
before this there was only depictions of like zombies in like a voodoo culture, but they decided you know what, the scariest possible thing that a walking corpse could do is cannibalism, eating people. So that became basically would be one of the permanent aspects of a zombie from that point on. Adrian, what are you all up to? We're just going over Silent Night, Deadly Nights, another holiday cult classic. And I should mention this film was probably like not as successful, but not that successful because of it had some competition when it was released. I believe it was released at the same time as Nightmare on Elm Street.
It was released around a lot. Like I said, it wasn't not only just that. Again, 1984 was kind of the last year of the big craze of slasher films. So there was several other ones that were released throughout the course of that year, and that was, as I would also kind of put it, that was also the last year we had a lot of the original slashers, as I would call them, because in the years following afterwards, that's where you had all the sequels and a lot of the lesser known slasher films. And by the time you get up to the to the late 80s, the genre apparently died. So Silent Night, Deadly Night was one of the last original films from that era.
Yep.
Well, I'm looking up movies that were released. Oh, this one doesn't even go to that weekend. This goes to the weekend after. Oh, wait, hold on. Here we go. Okay, so November 9th, 1984. The first one that pops up, Ninja Busters.
What?
Ninja Busters? What?
I shit you not. Ninja Busters. Also, No Small Affair, The Toughest Man in the World, Oh God, You Devil. Love. Yeah, that's it. So there were five films released on that weekend, and none of them I have ever heard. But The Toughest Man in the World stars Mr. T.
Mr. T? What?
Yeah.
You know him of all people?
My God.
Well, this is
You Devil with
No.
George Burns, I do believe.
What's that?
Oh God, You Devil was a George Burns movie.
I was actually going to say the one that is being portrayed as the devil does look very familiar, and George Burns could be it.
Yeah, because that was a sequel. There was one, Oh God, and I guess it's kind of maybe that Bruce Almighty might have been kind of a take on that modern take.
Yeah, good one. And let's see. Brad was asking Nick, he's probably doing that just to mess with you, Nick. He's saying, you guys ever going to do an episode on The Nest?
Really? Come on.
Because
that is not happening.
You know what the Nest is, right, Nick?
Yes, I know what it is, and I'm not gonna. If you're gonna do an episode on that, you're on your own.
All right.
Hey,
Oh,
hey, Adrian.
Hi, Adrian.
hello, Adrian.
Well, actually, if you're going to do an episode on the Nest, Don, you ought to have Brad on with you.
Yeah.
That's okay. I hear you. So you're that, Brad? You're joining me on this.
Trying to get him on a few
So if
times.
you want him to do an episode, you must be on it.
Be careful. You got him on there. Be careful.
Okay. No,
Do
no.
not have any devices that have names. It will cause them to do things anywhere near your computer.
Oh yeah, Brad does have an affinity for anything named Alexa.
Yeah. There's never been a time where he's watching or he's been on that he'll say that name, Alexa.
Well, don't say that name out loud. I don't want my echo dot.
I think it's too late, Don.
It's off.
Joke's on you.
Hey Nick, be careful, or your stomach's going to start hurting again.
Oh my
I'll be right back, guys.
that laugh attack I had that night. Oh,
Device.
he lost connection. So it says
Everybody's losing their connection lately. I had
it's
same
the
thing.
weather, I think.
Yeah, probably. I had the same thing happen to me, last podcast, and like for the past couple of days, it was like going crazy, like, affecting my.
Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I had like internet going out on my PS5. It was ridiculous.
But yeah, Jeremy, I'll make sure not to laugh as hard as I did that night. But that was funny. Let's be honest here.
It was. It was. And Adrian was having issues last night on the computer, but she did just fine on her phone.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing now because I've had it. What we're doing is actually taking the monitor because I have to use it for work. I have to hardwire, not the monitor, the damn Wi-Fi thing, whatever it is. And we're going to put it in the middle, like on the main floor. Then I'll hardwire to it from the top. He can hardwire from the bottom, and hopefully that fixes the issue.
Okay, well, hope it all works well.
So,
I'm done.
have you seen Silent Night, Deadly Night?
So why am I the only one not seeing the show? Maybe because when it came out, I was 10, but I still haven't seen it.
Brad.
I'm going to have to now.
Actually, a pretty decent movie for
It is.
the title and the time it was made.
Mm-hmm.
I was expecting it to be a lot
And for the budget it had, too.
easier. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
If I
that's
remember,
the issue.
I read that it got boycotted and pulled from the theaters like 10 days after it was released because the parents, picketed and everything because of the Santa Claus, killing people.
Yep, no one was prepared for a killer Santa movie. Not even.
And that
Yeah.
first week, it was like over $2 million was made off of it in just 1 week.
Yeah, so it made a bit of a profit, yeah, but
Oh,
it wasn't enough to it wasn't enough. They couldn't receive critical praise. Not just protesters, parents shaming it, but also Gene Siskel really tore this movie a new one, just going off on some of the crew members, like naming them by name, and also Mickey Rooney saying that people who made this should be run out of town. So
Bev?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, Bob. See ya. I'm sorry.
Siskel and Ebert, I remember just about any horror movie that was ever made, they trashed. They didn't like the genre. So it's like I never took any critics back in that day of
Well, when you think about it, the horror movies that they were making in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, you could tell that at some point there was going to be a shift. And that shift was right around Peeping Tom Psycho. And then once it started hitting Halloween, then it was full blown, and that's where the whole slasher thing really blew up. Yeah. But when it come to integrating the horror with Christmas, I with the exception of 2 or 3 other movies, something like this had never been done.
Right. It would be like a really taboo thing for somebody to make a horror movie with Santa Claus in it.
Right.
We do a haunted house every year for our fire department. It's like 13, 14 years in, maybe. And it's always crossed our mind, to have a killer Santa Claus because we got a Santa Claus suit. And I was like, it's just that I don't think we can cover. I think we can go over with that, go through with that threshold of be a lot of people, especially in a small town.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, I guess when this came out, everyone just didn't really see this as just like something creative and new. They just saw this as like some sort of an attack on Christmas.
Right.
Despite the fact that there have been a few other Christmas horror movies made prior, but all of those didn't feature, a killer Santa Claus.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, in like one of the most critically appraised holiday horror films, Black Christmas. I mean, that didn't have a killer Santa. It just had like a stalker that was like unseen. It was like a big murder mystery sort of a film.
Well, like I said, it's a crossover between murder mystery and slasher. It was one of the first to do that.
Oh yeah.
Well, if anybody would, I understand the concept, the killer guys dressed up like Santa Claus and all that. But if anybody actually watched the movie, instead of just looking at the name or the cover, he's not Santa Claus. He's not. Well, I guess he is playing Santa in that Toy Story or in that toy store.
Oh yeah.
But he's got deep-rooted issues.
Yeah, that he does. I mean, so much as the image of Santa was triggering Billy, like giving him flashbacks to seeing his parents being killed, and that's the thing. He was never given like the kind of professional help that he needed. His mind just kept on shattering and shattering with each passing year to the point where he just snapped.
Yeah.
Well, being raised in that orphanage didn't exactly do him any favors either.
No.
And how many people are really close to that? I've been reading Facebook, and it is just some of the people with people that have passed on recently, or even 30 years ago. Christmas isn't the same, or they don't have family around. And how long is it before somebody snaps?
Exactly.
Yep.
Because it takes you could tell throughout the course of the film, and especially on this kid who grows up, it took several years. It didn't just happen all of a sudden. It was 20 years later, Don, if I'm correct.
It was just over a decade later. I don't know if it was 20.
A decade.
It was just
Again,
over.
It's been so long since I've seen it.
Yeah, it was. I think it might have been 12, 14 years, if I remember this right. But yeah. But then what really was the snapping point is when he witnesses one of his coworkers, Andy, forcing himself on a coworker that he liked. What was her name? Pamela. Yeah, When he saw Andy attacking Pamela, that just did it for him. He yanked him off, which what was the right thing to do, but what he did after that was not the right thing to do. He strangled him to death.
Yeah.
I mean,
and then he went after her.
Yeah, then he went after her. I mean, if I was there, I would have yanked the guy off and really, because man always got to stand up for women in this world, always.
It was that whole scene, and he started having flashbacks of the Santa Claus that killed his parents and was assaulting his mother.
Yeah, that's what triggered him.
It's the trauma.
Yeah.
Is this based off of any kind of reality?
This particular movie, no. It was based off of a short story that had been written by a college student.
Okay.
However, a quasi remake called Silent Night. It was half somewhat remake of the original movie and half based off of a true story that happened back in 2008.
I love those true stories. Something based on a true story. I think that's just awesome. But then there's that fine line where they completely mutilate the real story.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, there have been stories about people going crazy on the holidays, but nothing like this being depicted in film where someone dressing as Santa and committing horrific acts.
Right.
I mean, in just that one scene alone, it showed him at the department store killing his fellow employees, right after hitting that breaking point and just going around, taking out people who he sees as naughty, saying they need to be punished, And Nick, I always wondered one thing. as far as like a Santa that just goes around punishing just about everyone, did this serve as like an inspiration for the robot Santa in Futurama?
I'm honestly not entirely sure, to be honest with you. That's something you'll have to look up. I don't have that answer for you.
Bender.
What's that?
Bender.
Oh, Bender. No,
Oh yeah, he took his place in one of the episodes.
Dressed up as Santa Claus.
but at least Bender didn't go around killing people.
Yeah, but people saw him as a threat.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
When they were moving in towards production of this thing, it says right here specifically that they were looking for a new and young director who would be the next John Carpenter. Now, this is only 6 years after they had made Halloween, and already they're looking for that next guy to step in there. Are you kidding? John Carpenter is in his prime during this whole 10-year period from the time that he made Halloween to 10 years later.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Yeah, very
So
true.
why all of a sudden make a replacement like that, like so quickly?
Yeah.
It's
So,
like it's like don't try to like find someone you think could be the next John Carpenter. Have the actual John Carpenter make this thing. I mean,
can you imagine if John Carpenter had gotten his hands on this movie?
Oh my God, he would have made this another legendary classic. That's for
He
sure.
would have. Yeah.
yeah, no doubt.
He would have. And the guy that did direct this thing, he only directed 2 or 3 more films after this. In total, he directed 4 films. One was a documentary in 1979. Silent Night, Deadly Night was his second thing that he filmed, but first feature film. And then the same year, he released a movie called Snowballing. And then the next year, he did Regulators.
I think I've actually seen that movie.
As far as directing goes, nothing.
I think I've actually seen Snowballing.
Was that too released in the 80s, or when was that
No,
released?
it was 80s.
It was released the same year as Silent Night, Deadly Night was.
Oh, 84, 1984.
Yeah.
Before,
And
yep.
then The Annihilators was released a year later.
Oh, yeah. Like I said in the Gremlins podcast, 1984 was a huge year for cinema. A lot of great movies came out that year.
Yeah. And unfortunately for some directors like that, this guy here, as far as directing, he did not have a shelf life at all.
Oh man.
Beyond that, he ended up becoming a supervising producer, worked on a whole bunch of documentaries. Producer, let's see. He did some writing, but that was all before Silent Night, Deadly Night. In a way, even though this wasn't a bad film at all, in a way, between those 2 movies, that almost kind of killed his cinema career.
Yeah.
Kind of did.
Now, I have never seen Snowballing nor The Annihilators, but Silent Night, Deadly Night, that's a classic.
Oh yeah, big cult classic.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But unfortunately, it just wasn't up to par to really jumpstart this career.
I was looking through one of the free apps on my phone the other day for other horror-related horror movies. Came across The Ginger Dead Man.
I've heard of that movie.
Oh,
We actually brought that up the other day.
Yeah, that is a movie I cannot take seriously at all. I mean, the premise. This is like the premise very similar to Jack Frost, only this time with Gary Busey.
yeah, it was so bad that I couldn't even finish it. I don't think I even got to the first kill, other than the stuff at the beginning.
I
It
have
was
not even seen that movie, and
my
honestly,
God.
after hearing from what I've heard, I won't.
You don't want to, Nick. You really don't.
I would probably sit through Sharknado before I sat through that.
Now that's a movie I've seen.
I mean, at least Sharknado is like an enjoyable and funny kind of bad. Like the people who made it, like knew this was going to be like like a silly kind of movie that people aren't going to take seriously as a film, but we'll get a good laugh out of it. But but with Ginger Dead Man, not the case.
It was
When I think of that, I think about the gingerbread man that is in Shrek and that voice. Can you imagine a 5-inch gingerbread man coming at you with a little bitty knife and an extremely high pitch like that? I'm gonna kill you! I'm gonna kill you! Can you imagine that?
Do you
Oh
know
my God.
the Muffin Man?
Take a movie seriously like that. I'm gonna kill you, you asshole! Yeah, that's gonna work very well.
In the Gingerbread Man, they had this big pile of dough, and she makes this one cookie that's probably 3 foot tall. 3 foot. And it's a big thing. She was like, "Why are you making such a big cookie to begin with?"
Yeah.
But it was hard.
She needed to bring her son back into the world as a over the top and hard to take seriously horror villain.
Yeah, the baker that the mother of him had sent the dough and I guess mixed the ashes in with the dough and all that. It was just like, we talked about last episode about the worst horror movie that I've ever seen. Well, Boarding House is now number 2. Gingerbread Man went to the top spot.
All right, so now y'all gonna make me have to watch some stuff.
I don't know if you want to watch these movies.
Don't watch that.
Don't watch Ginger Dead Man.
Don't.
And they made several of them.
I get bored at work. Why not?
Yeah, I tell you, like 2 of the worst horror films in my book. Well, actually 3. We covered one. We talked about one of them to death. Jaws: The Revenge, right? The other 2 2 other worst horror films are Pinata Survival Island. I believe I mentioned that in the podcast once before. Wow.
Yeah, you did talk about that, and I actually have that on DVD.
Oh my God. Oh no.
Condolences.
So you mean some of that DVD collection behind you is useless?
What is what?
Not him.
She's talking about Jeremy's collection. She's talking about Jeremy's collection.
I got you.
Let's put it this way. What I don't know how much Dawn has, but what you see right there is not even 0.5% of what I have.
I do not doubt that.
And Jeremy's absolutely right. I mean, I'm sorry to say this, Don, but he's got a library.
I do. I could put Amazon out of business. I have.
All right, so now I'm going to have to watch this. So I'm going to get off here and feed my family, and then I'm going to go watch these things. And then I'm going to message every one of you and tell you how mad I am that you made me watch it.
I was just about to say, if you get upset by these other movies, don't blame that on us.
Bad movie at all.
No, Silent Night, Deadly Night, definitely watch. Ginger Dead, don't.
No. I'll tell you another good 80s movie. It's not a Christmas movie, but I had never seen it before, and called The Entity.
The Entity, yes.
I haven't seen it either, but I have seen it come up on Netflix and stuff.
Well,
yeah,
you know what, Donald, very quickly, I actually did I did an episode of Nick Files with one of my, and I did an episode of Nick Files with one of my slideshows, and I dealt with the true story behind the movie The Entity. So I've done the real story.
Oh wow.
Yeah, I read on that on the true story part of it, where she was, messing with the occult and all that stuff. Of course, that wasn't in the movie.
Right.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, I mentioned one more bad horror film to avoid at all costs, and it's House of the Dead.
I have heard that, yes.
It's so.
I actually seen that in theater, and half the time I felt like I was watching a music video.
Oh.
Not bad.
Not kidding.
Yeah, prime example of how Uwe Boll just does not deserve to be a filmmaker. Like with each thing he spews out, I'm just thinking, seriously, Boll, just stop.
All right, you guys. Thank you all for having me on. I'm going to go feed this family, and then I'm going to go watch it.
Okay. Yeah.
All right, you enjoy.
All
Good
right,
night,
take care.
guys.
Take care.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us.
Oh, and before we go any further, Brad, we are not doing a 5-hour show tonight.
No, because tomorrow night I do have to work.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
tomorrow morning, not tomorrow night.
Morning, by the time you get there, it'll probably still be dark anyway. So.
Yeah, that's the nights are getting longer and days are getting shorter. So you're probably right on that.
We're only 6 days away from the shortest day of the year anyway.
That's right.
And the days are getting colder too. Like I got pelted by snow on the way. I'm like,
I was going to ask Jeremy, did you guys get snow over in your area? Because it snowed over here.
We had little bits of flurries. The only way we could tell were some that stuck onto the roofs.
Okay.
But it seemed like from what the radar was showing is that we were right on the edge of a snow cell.
Yeah, we got the majority of it. So like it wasn't heavy or anything, but it did cover the ground. So
yeah, we didn't have anything like that. It's just enough on the roofs that you could tell that it actually did something.
what about you, Donald? Has it snowed down in Mississippi at all, or
No,
It's probably
usually when we get snow, it's very little. But when we do get like say, I don't know, half an inch, people go crazy. Like they go and buy milk and bread, and it's like, come on. I mean, you're not going to be able to go to Walmart.
Yep.
Not that bad. And they drive like they would on a dry street. Especially when it ices over, they don't know how to drive because they're not used to it around.
yeah, like,
We got a pretty good ice and snowstorm a couple years back, and it pretty much shut down the city.
really?
wow.
It was pretty bad. We were stuck at work for like 48 hours at a time. But just in case something happened, we'd have enough people at the station to take care of a fire building. Structure fire, you'd have enough people there that because the roads were like undrivable for the most part.
Jeez.
Man.
That sounds similar to what I think it was Dallas that had it 2 or 3 years ago. They had like
Probably.
a pile up.
Because usually what Dallas is getting, a day or so later, we're going to wind up getting that same cell that comes across most of the time.
Yeah. I've actually been in a situation like exactly like that during my time at Western Kentucky University. This was during my senior year at Bowling Green, Kentucky. We got like about 6 inches of snow, and obviously, like down there, they're not as prepared for snowstorms as we are in Chicago. Like they don't have snow plows, they don't have like salts and all that.
Right.
So basically, campus got shut down for a week. Hey, plenty of time for me to study and get caught up and everything, but. Like nobody could drive anywhere.
Kentucky would be prepared.
What?
You would think that Kentucky would be prepared.
Yeah, I think I would have thought the same thing too.
Yeah. So, no classes for a week.
Yeah, that was the big thing here. I mean, we don't have all that stuff. We're not used to it, so there's no need to buy that stuff, spend all that money on something that happens.
No, I'm not.
10 years.
What are you talking about?
I'm in the right room right now.
Okay.
Let's talk about what I used to do my shows from. I used to do it from the dining room, and everybody was so used to seeing the double window behind me. Well, now that I'm sitting in my office, so you see a bunch of CDs behind me.
Oh. Okay.
She's not the first one that's actually mentioned that I got a different background or in the wrong. Yeah, several people have mentioned that already.
Oh.
Hey, people have always talked about my backgrounds that I always have.
Nobody ever
But people are used to you switching up your background up to 10 times a show.
That's true.
See, I've always been consistent where I was at up until just now.
I mean, nobody ever complains about my background.
Okay, yeah, fair point.
I get a comment every time I change my office.
Yeah.
Touche.
Yeah.
But to be fair, you're still in your office. I completely switched locations.
I can tell you, nobody ever complains about my background.
Well, because yours is always the same.
Yeah, exactly.
I after the other night's show, I got on and watched the Friday the 13th episode that y'all did.
Oh,
it was really, really good. I was like enjoying it greatly. I have to disagree on some of the.
Hey, Billy.
I guess personal preference. I guess on some of them. Six to me was the best.
Oh yeah, the sixth one is good.
It's really good.
Friday the 13th.
Yeah, I'd have to go 6, 4, and 7. I really enjoyed, and I think I enjoyed 7 so much because one, it was very different, but I'm a big fan of
Billy.
Yeah. Let's
go ahead, Donald. Sorry.
I'm a huge fan of the whole makeup effects. That's actually what I wanted to do when I was a teenager. But around here, there was no place to go and go to school for that type of thing, or even use that in this area. But
they're doing part 7. That was
part 7,
a Jason versus Kaylee movie.
Basically, yeah.
Oh yeah.
7 was the best effects on Jason himself.
Oh yeah. Well,
you
7
could see
was
the kneecaps and the spine, and it was just really good.
Oh yeah.
Good stuff.
Yeah, and that was also the first film of the franchise to have Kane Hodder playing Jason.
Yeah, that's right. That's kind of the debut for him.
For sure. Oh,
I can't believe you hadn't seen Jason Takes Manhattan.
Yeah, which is the title of that is inaccurate too, because the title's inaccurate, and so is the poster, because the poster implies that Jason has taken control over the city. When all he did was chase some teenagers down and killed a handful of people, and that's it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, that's all he did.
Jason Takes Manhattan is my second favorite of the series. My favorite of the series is Jason X.
Here, I just want to call it a couple of comments real quick. Billy, just in time. Well, we're 45 minutes in, but it's okay. We still got some more material to cover on this.
I got to get to that next comment. What Billy just said.
Ask about the sequel, Garbage Day.
Garbage Day.
Garbage Day. Garbage Day. It's a reference to the second film where Billy's brother, what was his name? Ricky. Where Ricky becomes the next killer, and he just walks around with a gun that he took away from a cop that he killed, and the guy's taking out his trash, and Ricky just points a gun at him and says "Garbage Day," then shoots him. And one thing,
through the trash can.
Yeah, through the trash can. But I tell you right now,
trash can.
one thing that irked me in that scene, the one thing that I could not stand. That choppy editing. That's one of my biggest pet peeves in film. I cannot stand choppy and messy editing.
Oh, that part was what did it for me on that section was the laugh. Constantly, just the same laugh constantly over and over. Like, oh my God, that's just horrible. Just stop.
I know, right?
Now, the guy that played that part, he had a great look when it come to, oh shit, I got to get out of here. He had a great look when it come to that. Now, once he started smiling and did that laugh, then that was when it was all done. But when he had that real stern look, it can be frightening.
Yeah.
And he had a great look for that. Beyond that, not so much.
Oh, yeah, I mean, since then, that one part of the movie became a popular internet meme. It's the one moment. It's like one of those laughably bad movie moments that everyone just loves poking fun at.
You know, it's just funny. I just thought of this now all these years ago, but there was one occasion I still remember. This was before I even knew what that movie was involving that scene. So a former, actually, Don, you might have known who he was too. I can't remember his name though, but this was back in high school, and this was probably, it must have actually been during the summer, and there was sent me a clip. And it was the Garbage Day clip. I click on it and watched it. I'm like, what the hell is this? Like, what the hell did I just watch right now? Like, explain it to me now.
I mean,
I was terribly confused, but laughing at the same time.
Yeah. And another bad thing about this movie is how heavily it relied on the footage from the first movie.
Oh,
That's basically half of your first part two.
yeah. I mean, they just like were like so over dependent on it. Like they were just
Yeah.
It's like we get it. It's a sequel to the first film. You don't have to keep showing us flashbacks and stock footage of it. I mean, yeah.
Well, that's what I thought.
Past that.
That's what I thought in one, because they kept showing, when he started seeing something and it reminded him of his, parents' death and all that. It was like at least 5 or 6 times they went back to that same scene of like, we get it.
Yeah.
And not to mention the fact that Ricky was a baby at the time, so how could he remember it?
Correct.
Well, yeah, he may have been a baby, but he lived in that same orphanage,
Right.
that Billy did.
Well, yeah.
And he went through that same abusive mother superior.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I wonder, because I didn't finish watching it. It was just really bad. But did she kind of turn on him like she did his brother after his brother was shot? Because at the end of the first one, they screen up to him and he says naughty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I wonder if did Mother Superior, start disciplining him also?
Well, when you think about it too, near the end, he was going to kill Mother Superior, who by then, of course, was a lot older then, and not to mention was not as mean as she was, when she herself was younger. But you could literally tell as soon as he saw her, she was the source of his abuse and wanted to make sure that she had to be killed for what she did to him. So it was almost going right back to the starting point of where it kind of all began.
Now, what I didn't understand, unless I missed it, and they had already explained it, but I don't know how she got so scarred up on the side of her face.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. Again,
Because at the end of part one, she was fine, except for the fact that she was in a wheelchair. But towards the end of part two, when he comes after her, her face is all mutilated. And unless I missed something in the movie, I don't think they ever explained what happened that she got to be in that condition.
yeah, I know they never really put a lot of explanation into that. It doesn't really didn't really make a lot of sense.
No.
I'm guessing one of the kids did it off screen or something, because like the way she treated people, she must have pissed people off every day.
Yeah, someone retaliated.
Yep. Exactly.
But the actress that played Mother Superior, she was point on.
She was. She was interviewed actually for. I have a copy of this documentary. There's I don't know if you guys have ever seen it. It's a really good documentary. It's based solely focused on the history of the slasher craze. And there's one segment that they talk about, which is Silent Night, Deadly Night. It was the documentary was made about 15 years ago, 2006. It's called Going to Pieces, The Rise and Fall of the Slasher Film. If you guys haven't seen it, it's a great documentary film. But they interviewed the actress who played Mother Superior in that film. So, and she really explains her own character of how she was able to do it. And it's an incredible. It's got to be, as far as I know, the only known real interview of her talking about her character. At least as far as I know. I don't know if there's any others, but I know she's in that film.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
Nick, here, Billy about to bring something up.
On my birthday.
What's
Yeah.
that?
She died in 2008 on my
That's
birthday.
right.
82.
Yeah.
Nick, I wanted to bring this up. Billy actually said that Part 2 was originally supposed to be a re-release instead of a sequel. That would explain the footage from the first film. And he says, according to IMDb, the producers wanted to recut the first film and insert 1 or 2 new scenes with Freeman, and they reworked it as a sequel.
That would explain a lot.
It would. So
Yeah.
But the thing is, the way that they cut and edited the first film, they didn't need to do anything extra to it.
No, not at all.
But I think you may be right, Billy. Yeah, I mean, the way you explained it, it totally would make sense.
Yeah, they should have just, if they were going to want to re-release it, they just should have re-released the first one. Unless,
Now, the guy that played Billy in that first movie, I thought he was really good too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he was, no doubt. Yeah. Oh, and Nick, I don't know if you've met Liam. He's from Australia.
Oh, from Australia.
Yeah.
Welcome.
Yep. Hey, Liam, we're doing well. Enjoying the holidays and also enjoying some holiday horror. Now with all this month we're going over some holiday Christmas related horror films. So far we've done Krampus, Gremlins. Let's see what
Jack Frost.
Jack Frost. You know what? Really quick, I got to say about Krampus. I was just talking with Rosie just last night. She said she's seen Krampus, and it turned out she really wanted to be on that show, but she didn't know that we were going to be talking about Krampus last week.
Billy is asking, which slasher Christmas movie do you prefer? This or Black Christmas? Black Christmas, definitely.
Yeah.
Hands down.
I haven't seen the original Black Christmas, so I'm going to have to go with Silent Night, Deadly Night.
See Black Christmas. See the original.
Yeah, the 2000 remake is shit.
Way better than the remakes.
Okay, now I am looking up. I just looked up Robert Brian Wilson, which is the guy that played Billy. This apparently was his first role.
Oh,
I'm not surprised.
Yeah. And he nailed it. And he's only done a few other things up until 1992, and then he just totally disappeared, at least on IMDb, until 2016. And then he did two TV movies in 2016, and that's it.
Well, after almost 25 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, and let's see. So Christmas next weekend, I'm wondering what you guys are going to cover. I was planning the original Black Christmas.
And speaking of Black Christmas, look at Jill's comment.
Yeah. Oh, here, Liam is asking, so what have you been doing, Don? Who are these people?
Who are these people?
Who are these people?
Yeah, I don't think
he is him, and he is him.
Okay. I don't think Liam has seen my the podcast yet till now. But so Liam, right below me is my good friend Nick Millet, and here up at the top corner next to me is Jeremy York, who's head of the Things Network that this podcast is associated with, and below him is Donald Martin, who is really enjoys these holiday horror films that we've been covering so far.
He also runs a show. He also now runs a show of his own on Sundays, which Shadow Whisper. Sorry, I'm trying to get
Shadows Talk.
Shadows Talk. Sorry, it just sounds so familiar. So I'm still
soon to come. March on Wrestling.
Yeah, and that too. Yeah, thanks for bringing that up.
And Joe, we did talk about Die Hard. Yes, it is a Christmas movie, but it is not a horror movie.
Yeah, it's an action movie.
Yeah, so unfortunately, that doesn't quite fall under the genre of this show.
Sorry, Jill.
Yeah, very shame.
Not a horror film.
And Jill just explained something else to Liam too. That yes, she is our favorite stalker, of course.
She's our only stalker. She's our Things Network groupie.
Oh, here.
Let's see here.
You really like
I
think the 2006 remake was that bad, but the 2019 was
Then I
Both
cannot
of them.
watch the 2006 remake.
And until you guys had even mentioned it, I didn't even know there was a 2019 remake.
Yeah, they
I
made
did
another
a-
one 3 years ago.
I've known about it. I did a reaction video to the trailer when that trailer was launched.
I'll be right back, guys.
Yeah,
And
go right ahead.
yep, do what you have to do. Yeah, Jill. I wanted to bring that to this. Jill. Yeah, covered Die Hard. As much as I would love to, because Die Hard is my number one favorite Christmas movie, but it's not horror related. And FearFans is strictly horror related content. We cover horror films, but soon I would love to cover more horror TV shows and also video games. Yeah, for video games.
Not take away from the great movie, well, the great series that it is.
Oh yeah.
Well, and don't forget, we've even covered at least. I mean, yes, we did cover a movie, but we also kind of covered a book series, and you know which book series I'm talking about, right, Don? The Scary Stories books.
Yes, we
Nightmare
did.
Before Christmas. We are saving Nightmare Before Christmas for next year, actually.
Oh yeah. Oh, Jill is asking about Nightmare Before Christmas. I'm planning to do that next year because next year is the 30th anniversary of it.
That's why I just literally was answering that question for her too.
Yep. Oh,
Now,
here. Speaking of Die
you
Hard,
great film series, unfortunately, Silent Night, Deadly Night cannot be included in that.
no, definitely not.
Great first movie, but every movie beyond that,
Yeah,
Just-
I saw part of the. It was like the same thing. I saw part of one of the other movies. I'm like, ah! I was like, ah!
And
don't remember the other movies that followed it, but part 3, where Ricky has that dome around his head.
Yeah, I didn't see that, but I know exactly what you're talking about, though.
But yeah, I should wanted to mention the 5th film is known for having Mickey Rooney, who heavily protested the first film, saying it was destroying Christmas, but then ended up playing a villain in the 5th film.
Yes.
And the character's name was, get this, Joe Petto.
I know that's what I was going to bring that. That's why I didn't want to say anything earlier. It's like it's so bizarre how Mickey Rooney hated the original film. And that's strange and funny, though, at the same time, because he suddenly appeared in one of the sequels years later. It's just like what made him want to change his mind?
I know. And let's let that sink in for a second. He's playing an evil toy maker called Joe Petto.
Joe Petto.
Yeah, I'm going to have to look that up. I did not know he was in one of the sequels.
When I was racking my brain trying to remember if The Omen or even Rosemary's Baby were at all any time. No, they weren't.
No.
Well, Exorcist though takes place around Halloween, but not Christmas.
Okay. Or is it Joe Petto?
Or Joe Petto.
Oh, Jesus.
That doesn't sound right.
No,
I'm
not at
sorry.
all.
The way how he typed it now, that doesn't sound right at all.
Oh, no. Hell no. Anyway, so he asked me, hey, now, speaking of Die Hard, please react to Die Hard, but it's a Christmas movie. Why heck the movie is pretty pleased. Yes, I want to go react to that, and also react to some of these Home Alone, these Home Alone videos from Theorizer that you also requested. I've just had a lot on my plate lately because I've had all kinds of things going on, the holidays, also events and fundraisers. This is the time of year where I'm trying to be, participate in generous things.
No, none of those films, Joe.
Okay, I found the one with Mickey Rooney. He was in Silent Night, Deadly Night 5, The Toy Maker.
The Toy Maker, yeah.
Which was only almost exactly 7 years later after the first one.
Yeah.
That was released on November 7th, whereas the other one was released November 9th.
Yep.
So good time in there. You got to remember, money talks.
It does. It does.
Yep. Now here's one thing I do want to bring up, and this is actually kind of unfortunate because parts 4 and 5 have Clint Howard in it.
Yeah, Clint
Oh.
Howard is in it, which
Yeah.
I know he's been in a lot of stuff.
Now, Clint Howard, if I understand right, is in every movie that Ron makes, right?
Yeah.
Just about.
But
Not
he
half.
has never had, at least in my opinion, he has never really had like a defining role that he would be best known for. But it seems like that every role that he has had has always been minor or something major in a really bad movie.
Yeah, like in a House of the Dead, he was in that.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he was.
And
I'm just like,
that is unfortunate for Howard, given the credentials that his brother has.
mhm.
But sometimes I wonder if he had ever really been given an opportunity to truly show what he can deliver.
Yeah.
That's the unfortunate reality of it. And I'm
Yeah.
thinking back to his role in House of the Dead, and I'm just like, oh come on, not Clint, you don't deserve that at all.
Exactly.
You don't deserve to be put through that. Oh, here. Clarissa said
Yeah.
yes, video games. She was
Yeah.
obviously referring to when I mentioned that I want to cover horror video games.
Yeah, Clarissa, she plays a number of games.
One of the franchises I definitely want to cover at one point is going to be Resident Evil. I'm such a huge fan of it.
You have to.
Yes. And yeah, there's all kinds of horror games out there. It's just like, let's see, Dead Space is another one, Evil Within.
Phasmophobia.
Yeah, there's so many possibilities there.
Left 4 Dead 2.
Left 4 Dead 2.
Outlast.
Yeah.
Bendy and the Ink Machine, which you still need to play, by the way.
Slender. Let's see, Slender. Yeah,
Slender. Yeah, Slender, the 8 pages. And The Arrival. I should have just had my whole Steam and just read off all the games that I got, because I got a bunch of horror games. I got a lot of them.
Oh, here. Speaking of Nightmare Before Christmas, have you guys played the PS2 sequel game? Oh, Nick, you mentioned there was a sequel game before.
There is a sequel game to Nightmare Before Christmas. But, for some reason whatsoever, it was only ever included in PS2 and Xbox, and they never released it through the time when we still had GameCube and stuff. But I've seen videos of it, but I've never gotten to play it. I've even checked to see if they have it on Steam yet, and they still don't have it on Steam either. So no, unfortunately, I haven't played it. It's Oogie's Revenge.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just got like I just said before, I got a new PS5 where you can access all kinds of games from the past, but I don't believe that game is one of them.
It's a hard to get game, basically.
Yeah. Oh, yep. You know what?
Yeah,
that movie sucks horribly.
It was bad.
Terrible.
Very bad.
At half that time, I thought I was watching a music video.
And also, the fight scenes are stupid. Like the camera, does a 360 turnaround characters, and also the guns that they have are never consistent in between shots. Like one shot he has a pistol, another next one she has a shotgun. Like it's like, come on, pick a gun and stick with it in between shots. Jesus. Oh, here. Don and Nick, what do you think about the Resident Evil movies and the movie reboot? I thought the first movie was all right, and the same thing with the movie, and the rest I'm burning now. Well, the 2002 one was okay for what it was. I will say that. But I felt like as the series went on, it felt like I wasn't watching like actual Resident Evil. It felt like Paul W.S. Anderson's Resident Evil fan fiction, if anything. And they tried to make, and also the second film, they tried to make it like seem like taking place in the fictional city of Raccoon City, completely fictional, but yet it shows the buildings and also like the skyline and the town hall of I think it was one of the cities in Canada. I think it was Vancouver. Vancouver.
Might have been Vancouver. I can't remember.
It was like Vancouver or Toronto, one of those two. But yeah, point is they showed buildings that were made it way too obvious that it's not taking place. It was not filmed in a fictional town. And I'm like,
and wasn't it discovered that the what's her name, Mila, the main actress?
Oh, yeah. What was her name?
But the person that she wasn't it discovered at some point that the original had died and she was just a clone?
Mila Jovovich. Yeah, they kept on making the story all the more confusing, all the more complex and confusing than it should have been. Yeah, throwing in all this aspect of cloning and it was the story just became a mess. But Oh, here.
I did recently watch the remake of it, and I'm not really sure what to think of it because it was so different. Um, I don't know. I
Yeah.
can't say it was good, but I can't really say it was bad either.
Yeah, I didn't watch it yet because I didn't really have that, because I kind of lost faith in actually having a legit Resident Evil movies, except for the CGI animated ones. Now those were good; those I liked because those were more faithful to the game franchise. And here, Jill was asking, what do I want to cover in next week's Fear Fans? One of them is definitely going to be Black Christmas, the original one, not the remakes. No,
So you better watch it, Jeremy.
please watch, Jeremy.
What movie?
Black
Black
Christmas, the original film from 1974.
Now you guys can have that one.
I was Valentine, good version on Halloween podcast with Carissa. Nice. Love Resident Evil. Yep, I'm a huge fan of Resident Evil, but mostly of the games, especially the Resident Evil 4 and also the Resident Evil 2 remake. And I cannot wait to see the remake of the fourth game coming out this coming year. I can't wait to play it.
Oh, Joe. Look what she said. I know exactly what recent version she's talking about. You know what it is, right, Don? Black Christmas.
Charles.
I remember playing the first
Good night,
Resident
Charles.
Evil on
How about Charles?
PlayStation.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
here. Done in it.
So-
The movie was actually faithful to the games. It covers Resident Evil 1 and 2.
Yeah,
Well, maybe I'll give it a chance.
the remake was kind of more towards the story in the game.
Was it?
Yeah,
Okay. See, I had never played those games, so I have no clue of how close any of these movies were.
it was one of the first games I can remember playing where you had that shock value, far as you're sitting there going down a corridor or something like that, and everything is like it scares the hell out of you. And I used to wear my headset on the first one. I turned that son of a gun as far as it would go up, so I'm sitting there like, and just get that adrenaline rush when one of the creatures that jumped out of you is like, oh shit,
That's how it was for me in the first movie. When they were showing the people that were floating inside this room that was glass encased, and then this female was floating up right to the camera, and then all of a sudden her eyes popped open and her hand came up.
Oh, yeah. Like, they did adapt for one of the most favorite moments. Like, I saw this in the trailer. They adapted in the new movie. Like, one of my favorite moments of Resident Evil, like the first zombie that you see in the first game, like where it's feeding on a corpse and then it lifts its head and turns towards you. Like I always thought it was like that. Really, wow. That's how you start a video game, and then they adapt that to film, and I'm just like, wow. But I want to get back to Silent Night, Deadly Night. Kind of going all over the place here.
Hey, Don, it happens in a lot of our shows. We always go off topic, right, Jeremy?
Yep.
Yeah. But
Speaking of remakes, what did you guys think of the remake Silent Night?
I never got to see it, unfortunately.
I didn't see it just yet.
What the? Nick, where's your axe? Aren't your? Unfortunately, I just don't. The axe. I just don't have it for tonight. Wait till tomorrow night, and we'll talk then.
This is the remake to Silent Night, and it's only a partial remake because the majority of the story was based off of a true story.
Oh.
Hey,
Nick,
huh?
that's what you need from the cover, a flamethrower, not an axe.
A flamethrower. Can you imagine if you're like dressed up as a Santa Claus and you're going around using a flamethrower?
there actually is a scene, two scenes in this movie, actually, where the Santa does have a flamethrower.
Oh, really?
But the first one that's shown with the flamethrower is actually a flashback scene. And then towards the end, in today's time, the Santa has a flamethrower. But the story in this movie is based off of the Covina massacre, which happened on Christmas Eve 2008 in Covina, which is a suburb of Los Angeles.
Now that's something you should have told Adrian about, when she was on earlier.
Well, I mentioned that the remake was partially
Yeah.
based on a true story, and that's when she said that's what she enjoys. And there are two parts in this movie that were taken from the original. One of them is with the invalid grandpa, who all of a sudden comes to life for that 1 minute, scares the crap out of the grandson, and tells him Santa's coming, Santa's evil, that stuff. And the other part that was taken out of there is where Santa takes the girl and impales her on the antlers.
Yeah. Yeah, Linnea Quigley's character.
Oh yeah, she was great, and just about everything she's in with horror films, she's great.
See, here's the funny thing, Don, you probably know this, but funniest thing about it is I got to meet Linnea Quigley at Flashback Weekend. Yeah, she was at not really for Silent Night, Deadly Night. And Jeremy, I've told you about this, and Don, you know this festival too. We have a horror film convention that occurs here in Rosemont, which is basically just right next to Chicago. They do it every August, and about over 10 years ago, Linnea Quigley was there, but she was also there because they were, and Don, I showed you a little bit of it. It was for another horror documentary that she was a part of, which was called, ironically enough, Scream Queens: The Rise and Fall of the Scream Queen, and it was focusing on the main three Scream Queens. That's Michelle Bauer, Linnea Quigley, and damn it, I always keep forgetting the third one's name. Oh my god, how can I always keep forgetting their names? But no, she was at this documentary that they were that she was at, and right afterwards we actually were able to get a free picture with her. So she was really nice. Of course, she was older compared to what she looked like back then.
Well, yeah, that's what aging does.
Well, she is also in one of my favorite movies, which you guys would consider bad, called Jacko.
Jacko, yes, that's enough. And I just found the third. Brink Stevens, that was the third one's name. Brink Stevens, Michelle Bauer, and Linnea Quigley.
Okay.
Yes.
Jacko is one of my favorites. She's a part in it.
Yeah, that was from the mid 90s, I think.
95.
Yep.
Yeah.
Linnea Quigley is one of my favorite.
As bad acting, bad directing, especially by the child actor who happened to be the director.
Actually, you know what? One of her first movies was, again, this is another primary example of someone who had a really good career but started in a really bad movie. And this was even before she did Silent Night, Deadly Night. It was the movie, it was from just a few years earlier. I think it was either 1979, or I think it must have been 1979 that she was in it. Or 81. It was called Don't Go Near the Park. And it's a terrible movie. It was actually referred to as a video nasty, which was banned in the UK because of the violent content of that movie, even though if you watch it, the graphic effects are really fake for the most part, and the story doesn't at times really make any sense. But that was actually one of Linnea Quigley. I think that might have been her debut. Of course, when she was in this movie, nobody knew who she was, unless she was in an earlier film.
She had actually been doing movies for 6 years at that point.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right.
Her first film is called Psycho from Texas, and that was in 1975. But she didn't do another film for 3 years. And there she did Death Sport, Fairy Tales, and Auditions in 1978.
Okay.
Yeah. But she had already been acting for 9 years when Silent Night, Deadly Night came out.
She had, in the documentary that they showed at Flashback Weekend, they did talk a little bit about Silent Night, Deadly Night. And she said when it happened, when they had all these negative reactions about that movie, She was actually out of. I think she might have actually been down in Mexico. I think she was with that was when they were doing another movie. They were doing the movie Treasure of the Moon Goddess when she got a call from her agent. It says, and her agent's like, "Oh my God, this movie that you were in, Silent Night, Deadly Night, it's triggered. It's going out of control. People are hating it, especially parents." So, and she didn't know what she was able to do because at that time she was already working on another movie, and plus, again, she was down in Mexico, so it's not like she couldn't just pack up and leave. So she had to wait until they were done with all her roles and then come back up to the United States. And of course, she was amongst eventually one of them who had to kind of face the brunt of these negative reactions following Silent Night, Deadly Night.
She got stereotyped really, really bad. Not only for being in ridiculously bad horror movies, even though she did have a very small part in Nightmare on Elm Street 4.
That's right.
But that part could have been easily missed if you blinked.
Yeah.
Beyond that, she was also stereotyped really bad as a sex symbol for horror movies.
Right.
Now,
that was the effect of the other two.
Beautiful woman. But they used her looks for a lot of really ridiculously named movies. Sorority Babes in Slimeball Bolorama.
And there's Bad Girls from Mars, and they're just these crazy names.
Yeah, and there's one titled Sex Bomb.
Yeah, they sound like all these, like, it has, people would think when they hear these titles, they sound like pornographic movies. But once they actually watch the movies, they find out that they're nothing more than just cheap, low-budget horror films.
Well, the Lesbian Love Goddess.
Yeah, that's the one, yeah.
That's the movie she did. Strip Teaser, Mary Cookie and the Killer Tarantula.
I've never even heard of that one. That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah. Sex Files, Pleasureville.
Oh,
that's another one that she did. The Naked Monster.
Yeah, there's all these crazy titles. I mean, seriously, I don't know where they came up with those titles.
But she did do some other movies that had somewhat regular names. Zombiegeddon.
Yep.
Corpse of
Return of the Living Dead.
Night of the Demons.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Caesar and Otto's Deadly Christmas.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
I didn't hear about that one.
Terror Tunes.
Terror Tunes, yeah, I heard about that's
He was in parts 3 and 4. I did not know that there was something like that.
Yeah, it's a ridiculous movie too.
Is it? Okay.
I never seen it, but I've seen the clips of it though.
Oh, here's another fun one. Girls Gone Dead.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, so they come out with a whole bunch of ridiculously titled movies, and chances are they're bad. So this one here I'm interested in. It just came out a couple years ago called The Last Thanksgiving.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Do we dare look into that for next year, Don?
I don't know.
And there's one other movie here I'm just going to point out.
But the question is it as bad as Thanksgiving?
Well, the film stars Samantha Ferran as a waitress who works at a restaurant that is terrorized by cannibalistic pilgrims.
What?
A restaurant opening for Thanksgiving is attacked by cannibalistic pilgrims. When the dining staff fights back, carnage ensues.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
No.
I don't know about that.
Okay, so fair point. We have tons of Halloween scary movies. We have a lot of Christmas scary movies, but you don't really hear anything about Thanksgiving.
I know. We've talked about that before.
So given the fact of this kind of a premise, and chances are it's a very low budget film, I actually want to see this.
We don't really have any Easter ones too, unless you count Critters 2, because that takes place around Easter.
I actually have a movie called Easter Bunny Massacre.
No. Oh God, no.
We have seen that one. No.
Surprisingly enough, it's not that bad. It's
Okay,
not-
well,
but it's not that bad.
there's one movie. Do not under any sort. I'm telling you, you'll thank us if you don't see it because it's supposed to be another Easter horror movie that somebody referred to us, and we learned it the very, very hard and difficult way. And that was the Bunny Man movie. That movie was terrible from the start. The sound was terrible.
It was. The audio was just
You could
audio
barely hear what's going on.
Yeah, the audio quality was horrendous.
And then the
yeah.
storyline was just, I don't even know how to describe the storyline, to be honest. It was just so bad.
There is no story. It's just a bunny man going on.
It's not the best, but it does have Malcolm McDowell in it, and
Malcolm McDowell.
Yeah, he stars as a police chief. He's a hard ass police chief, but he's actually a good guy in this case. But he's still the hard ass that he's in every other movie that he's ever been a part of.
He doesn't sing the song "Singing in the Rain" like he did at Clockwork Orange.
Nope. He tells it bluntly. In fact, there's one scene where there's a cop that's under the weather. He says, "You're here to protect the citizens of this city, not your sorry ass." He goes to another cop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I wanted to
He tells a lot of truth to some of these characters in these things.
Yeah. Oh, I wanted to bring up back in Silent Night, Deadly Night. I wanted to bring up when Billy was like started working at the toy store. Like there were a lot of toys there that were like hugely popular during the 80s. Like
Oh yeah.
And 90s too. We had them continue up to the 90s.
The frog.
Yeah.
When they're panning down the aisle, you actually see a Kermit the Frog. I think it was a figure, but it was this big.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. They were big back in the day.
There was let's see, there was Little Tyke toy houses. There were let's see, Matchbox cars, Mr. Potato Head. Oh, and also there was some Star Wars stuff. I believe there was like a Jabba the Hutt play set because I believe Return of the Jedi came out a year before this.
It was
stuff.
the 80s. Star Wars was huge.
Yep, 1983. That's when that film came out, Return of the Jedi. So of course that they were gonna popularize that like Jabba the Hutt. And,
well, Star Wars as a whole.
Oh yeah, and yeah, pretty much the entire Star Wars franchise. Let's see. Also, there were a lot of Smurfs merchandise there because I believe that around that time is when the cartoon was on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
and of all places to have this, a toy store, and there was also bow and arrows.
Yeah.
yeah,
Check this out really quickly, guys.
it was still in,
Brandon
Back
Elvis.
then, it wasn't a big deal.
yeah. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure murders would have taken place even if there wasn't Psycho dressed as Santa. So yeah, with just those bow and arrows alone.
Jeremy, just thought I'd let you know quickly. Well, actually, just thought I'd let all you guys know.
Wonder if there's any
Brandon
lawn
Elvis
darts in there.
responded back to my comment, and I don't really talk to Brandon Elvis very often. So, sir, he's an investigator, Don, in case you didn't know. He's really well respected.
All right.
Yeah, I don't usually hear from him too
Kind
often.
of a polarizing individual.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. And you know, there were some good spots there in that toy store. When he killed that last girl, they did some errors with that one, at least to me, because when he shoots her with that bow and arrow, the bow looked like it, or the arrow looked like it went right into the small of her back.
Yeah.
But when she turns around, it's sticking straight out just underneath her chest.
Yeah.
The arrow looked like it was going down, so it should have come down out right around the waist, but it was coming up out right underneath the sternum.
Yeah, that's right. So
Yeah, so they did a little bit of alignment errors there, and granted that this guy had a good build to him, but I'm not so sure that he would have been strong enough to have hung the guy himself.
Probably.
With one hand and then wrap him with the Christmas lights.
Yeah.
Oh, I should mention there was another actor from another horror franchise who was in this. You know that part where there was where the police were trying thought like the this Santa was climbing up a ladder to a bedroom, thought that was like the killer Santa they were after, but no, like it was actually the dad inside of that little girl's room.
Yeah.
That was played by the actor who played Michael Myers in Halloween 5.
No kidding.
Yep, Don Shanks.
Wow.
Yeah,
That was him.
That's just nuts. Just even thinking about that.
Yeah, I still prefer Halloween 5 over his performance. Well, not his performance, but over a movie that he was in. I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer when he played the fisherman.
Don't even remind me.
Yeah, he was the fisherman in that. Yeah, it's just like, yeah, that movie sucks.
Oh, barbecue Pringles.
Oh, barbecue Pringles, those are good.
Huh.
Nice.
Yep, there it is.
Yeah, you're not kidding at all, because I just looked it up too.
Yeah, and you know what I do, Donald? Sometimes, like, if I have like barbecue Pringles and pizza Pringles, I mix the two together, so it's like barbecue pizza.
I have a weird. I like barbecue chips and like chocolate,
Oh,
like M&Ms or something like that. In between, eat one and eat the other. It's a good combination for me.
So
My combination is macaroni and cheese and buffalo sauce.
oh wow.
wow.
Let me tell you a story about some mac and cheese. We were at the fire department one day and looking for something for lunch, and I was like, we got some macaroni. Let's make some mac and cheese. Of course, it was the shells and cheese. We didn't have any milk. And it was around Christmas time. It's like, we got some eggnog. I bet it'd probably be the same. Yeah.
Oh, geez.
It was,
geez.
oh God, it was horrible. It was horrible.
I imagine.
I can't not even imagine.
Mac and cheese made with eggnog.
That is just, oh God, if I was trying that, I'd be running to the bathroom quickly. Like, I gotta go. I'll be right back.
Yeah, I don't even like eggnog, so
Yeah, I don't like it.
It would still be bad.
Yeah, that would be my other issue too, because I don't drink eggnog either.
Oh, I love eggnog. It's good, but you can't drink but just a little bit of it.
Yeah, but still, even if you like eggnog, just mixing with macaroni, that just doesn't sound
That's
good
like-
at all.
That is a sin against mac and cheese. Like,
You're asking for it. God.
yeah, you're asking for it from Kraft. Kraft hears about this, they're gonna be like, oh hell no. They're like, that's not how you make mac and cheese.
Well, I just added that to the Wikipedia page, Donald Shank being in this movie because he wasn't in there.
Oh, really? I would have thought that someone would have listed him in that.
Well, I just did.
Oh,
Don Shanks as Santa climbing in the window.
nice. Let's see. Don. Let me look at Don.
He was also in wow, he was in a lot of other stuff.
He was in. Oh, he played a bit part in Dumb and Dumber. Okay. He was in The Stand. He was in Bats, Pro Salvation.
Sweet 16.
Yeah,
Incredible Hulk.
Legends.
so he's done some. He's got some experience with slashers.
He's also been in Three Ninjas Knuckle Up.
I would have said if he was the third guy in Dumb and Dumber, that's when the title should have really been Dumb and Dumberer.
I probably would have titled it Dumb, Dumber, and Dumbest.
See what else? Yeah, he was. Doesn't look like he's done anything recent though.
Yeah.
Okay. Speaking of that, did you guys hear about the horror parody of Dumb and Dumber?
Oh no! Oh no! No, there really is a parody in that movie now.
And Dahmer.
Oh no! No! I cannot. So wait, what? They actually. When did this come out?
It came out. When did it come out?
Hold on, let me look this up. Dumb and Dumber or
Dahmer.
Okay, let's see this.
Last year.
Dumb and Dumber movie.
Jeez.
Release date
No.
June 8, 2021.
A found footage revenge horror movie. It says it's a found footage revenge horror film, and I'm just wondering what Jim Carrey has to say about this.
What's the name of it?
Dumb and Dahmer.
Dahmer.
Just wait till you see the poster board for this thing.
Oh,
Like Jeffrey,
God, no.
like Jeffrey Dahmer.
No?
I can't believe I'm actually doing this, but I'm looking it up right now.
Yeah. Prepare.
No.
Dumb and Dumber. And yeah, you're right. It did come out last year. As far as the poster. What? No. No.
What is
I
it?
can't believe. No. Oh, God. I don't even know how to say it, but that is bad. That's really bad.
So, Jim Carrey actually wanted it to be a horror film? This is unlike.
I don't know.
Oh man.
He actually, with some of the things that Jim Carrey had been in, he might be able to appreciate that they did something like this.
I gotta go get my
But
iPad.
at the same time, I can see him being offended by something like this.
I can't imagine.
Yeah.
Yeah, but with him and the kind of movies that he had done in the past, I can see it either way for him.
Yeah, I'm just trying to look up for that see what it got on. What did you say it was already released?
Last year.
It was released a year and a half ago, and it was given a 4.5 out of 10 rating on IMDb.
Oh, here, Dumb and Dumber. Sorry, Misty Lovins. Yeah. Everything's got to be a horror film now. And like we've just had, the Grinch being adapted to a horror film. The mean one.
And don't forget, too bad Greg's not on this, Jeremy. Too bad. And that's the same thing with that Winnie the Pooh movie.
I did a trailer. I did a reaction to the trailer for that movie, Blood and Honey. I did a reaction to it already. So it looks.
Come back, Jill.
Jill's back. Okay.
So is Liam.
Yeah, she's been quiet for 20 minutes.
She's probably cooking.
Yeah.
She always does.
Well, it is only 6:30 there.
Yeah. What's up, Liam? Oh, so he lives down in Sydney, Australia. Okay.
Yeah, Sydney. That's one of the places I always wanted to travel to because they got some amazing sites there, including the Opera House. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
where I want to go, the Opera House.
Yeah, I hear
Because they have a skyline there because of that Opera House that you won't see anywhere else.
Oh, no, not at all.
Oh yeah, and I hear they got great beaches there too. There's so much great things to do over there.
Just careful of the
And
sharks.
they have 30-pound spiders.
And the spiders, but also the sharks, too.
The sharks, the jellyfish, the box jellyfish. Like one sting from that, and you're dead within minutes.
Jeremy,
So-
didn't Nikki from Australia say she didn't live that far from Sydney? I can't remember.
I don't.
It. No, wait, she was in Western Australia, which I don't know if that's where Sydney's located.
Yeah, but it's like sure, Sydney would be fun to see and experience, but there's also a few things you got to watch out for as far as their wildlife.
Yeah.
Although I would love to see a kangaroo.
Oh yeah, kangaroo, no doubt. I would love to see it as well.
So anyway, back to Silent Night, Deadly Night.
Yeah.
This film had to be submitted 4 times in order to get a rated R.
Really?
Right.
Be rated R. Yeah. The following edits were made in the rated R version. A shot of Billy being slashed by Santa in his nightmare is removed. When Sims asks Billy what Santa does, it cuts immediately to Andy and Pamela going into the stock room, which I'm not really sure why that would matter. Sims and Randall singing carols had been entirely redone. Billy's flashback had been edited. Footage of Billy killing Pamela is edited. Now, Pamela, was that the girlfriend?
Yeah, in the store, yes.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Liam, Liam, I haven't been to Australia yet, but I would love to travel there one day.
I don't think any of us have.
Yeah, but, it's great.
The impalement scene is shortened.
Oh, I figured that scene would have been shortened up.
Oh, yeah.
But shortened from what? They pretty much showed the entire thing.
Exactly. Yeah.
The
I'd say that.
expectation scene was shortened. That one did seem kind of rushed.
So what about Anna and the Apocalypse, Christmas horror comedy with zombies? I have heard of that. I haven't yet seen it, but I want to. Or Better Watch Out, another dark comedy slasher. I want to see that as well.
I don't know that one.
Yeah. So I pretty much got
Horror comedy with zombie Christmas? Oh, boy.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
I can see it now. Zombies running around wearing ugly sweaters.
Oh, God. As if they weren't already ugly enough.
Yeah, the ugly sweater apocalypse.
So yeah, we got to watch that, Nick. That along with Better Watch Out.
Oh no,
I'm looking for something for Tuesday's episode because I pretty much got.
Is it the children are killers or the killers are going after children?
I don't know, but yeah, I'm trying to figure out what to do for Tuesday's episode because I got not Thursday, next Friday's figured out. We're gonna do Black Christmas right before Christmas Eve. Yep.
Yeah,
And,
I don't know. That's up to you.
Kids are killers. Okay.
What
So-
were you gonna say?
We had mentioned that this movie was the first time that a guy in a Santa suit was the killer. That is actually incorrect. Where is it at? Here it is. I come across a movie called Christmas Evil.
Yeah, I heard of that one.
And this one here was released in 1980, and it was originally titled You Better Watch Out, and also known as Terror in Toyland. The plot follows a deranged man obsessed with Santa Claus who eventually goes on a murderous rampage dressed in a Santa Claus suit.
Oh Jesus!
It sounds almost like a complete ripoff, almost though.
Seems like it.
Possibly. It says first came Halloween, then came Friday 13th, not Friday the 13th, Friday 13th.
Friday
And
13th.
now, this Christmas, you better believe in Santa Claus or he'll slay you.
Okay.
Well, first off, they got the title wrong for Friday the 13th. It's not Friday 13th. It's the 13th.
That's why I
Secondly,
waited that part.
yeah, and secondly, they're trying to make this almost sound like this is like the very first Christmas film, but obviously it's not.
Nope.
Well, Christmas horror movie that involved a Santa, a murderous Santa.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Now, with that, there is one movie that I would love to see made, and that would be the theatrical version of the Weird Al Yankovic song, "The Night Santa Went Crazy." I'd love to see the movie.
Oh my God. Can you even I cannot even imagine right now.
Well, the line takes a big bite and he tastes like chicken when he's talking about one of the reindeers. That line alone is enough for me to want to see this movie.
I don't know if I want to see it though. That's the problem.
I don't know.
That Weird Al song, I'm a big fan of Weird Al. I've seen him in concert twice.
Nice.
And
We went to the first time was in Dallas with a buddy of mine who's passed on now. Not Dole, another. But we're sitting there, listening to it, and he played. It was like, middle summer. He said, so many months before Christmas, it's time for a Christmas song. So he starts playing that, and it's like, all right, it's gonna be, good. It gets about through the first verse and all, and we see this mother and a little bitty kid, looked like he's about 5 years old, walking out of the venue there. It's like, wow.
couldn't deal with the Santa Claus going nuts and killing everybody.
Man.
But you know that at the end of that song, there's a set of there's a different ending to the lyrics.
Yep. There's the album version and the gory version.
Yeah.
Correct.
And I think probably like one of the craziest idea for a Christmas horror film. I'm surprised that they didn't actually make one of this at this point. Is Grandma got run over by a reindeer? Where Grandma gets run over by a reindeer and then comes back as a zombie or a revenant and goes on a killing spree. I feel like it's like out of all the cheesy horror films, you would think someone would make something like that by now.
Jeremy,
I'm gonna look and see if somebody has done that yet or not.
I'm sure. If it hasn't, I'm sure someone is making it right now.
Oh god, I'm just hoping. Oh my god, I may have gave somebody an idea now. Somebody's watching this. I may have encouraged them now. No.
I can write a story on that.
What have I brought into this world?
start writing a screenplay.
No, and you can't blame that on us, Don. You have no one to blame other than yourself.
Somebody's watching this is writing the script right now. Oh,
yeah, you brought this on yourself.
What have I done?
So far, that has not happened yet.
Oh, it may.
It hasn't happened.
It may now. I may have caused it.
Actually, when you think about it, it would make for a compelling story.
If
perhaps
it may play off as like a silly, hard to take seriously horror film, like a laughable kind of one, if done right. Yeah, but it'd be hard to pull something like that off.
Right.
You never know. I wouldn't mind seeing one made off of Christmas at Ground Zero.
Oh yeah. That's an idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if they can make a movie about a killer snowman, I guess anything's possible. Oh no!
He has gone insane.
I should mention, guys, the only scary snowman that I find entertaining is Freaky the Scary Snowman. You know who that is?
Never heard of him.
Okay, here. Let me pull something up. I'm going to play something for you guys here.
All right.
Nick, you probably know who this is. I may have shown you a video or two before. Hold on. Freaky the... Oh, yeah, here. This started off as like a viral video series like back in like 10 years ago. But let me see if I can pull up. Let's see, 2000. Yeah, let's go back to 2012. That's when he had some of the better scares. So the idea of Freaky the Scary Snowman is there was this guy who decided to do this little public stunt where he dresses up. He puts like on this costume that he made of a snowman, like a plaster, and like people think it's like probably like a decoration or a statue or something. But then he turns it like it faces somebody, like jolts quickly, and then they just freak out. Here, let's pull it up for you guys. Hang on. Of course, there's stupid ads. I should get YouTube.
Yeah.
I should get YouTube Premium again. Anyway, let me see if I can play this. Hang on.
You should be able to if it's like from YouTube.
While he's doing that, this list came out almost 2 weeks ago. It's called 25 of the best Christmas horror movies, and Silent Night, Deadly Night Part 2 is number 25.
Wow.
Okay, here it is. Here, I found it. Okay.
Yeah, I know this video.
This is
Polly. Polly goes. Oh, Polly, I thought you said. Oh no, someone's in there.
I like how they throw it down.
Come here.
Yeah, that's what this guy does. He that's what he's been doing this for like over a decade now. Just dressing up as Freaky the Scary Snowman, and just like whenever people just walk by, he just like turns and then scares the hell out of them.
You know, I have been seeing all kinds of videos on TikTok where people are doing stuff like that or dress as Shrub, and they go out. One of these people is going to get shot.
Well,
oh yeah.
I got it. Do you mind if I show a clip now?
Well, yeah. Wait a second. Wait a minute. Well, something actually did happen. He did scare one guy, and he just like punched him, knocked him down.
Oh man, Ginger Dead Man, 23rd best Christmas horror movie, and it shows a picture of him. He looks bad.
That's because it is bad.
Yeah.
Okay, what were you gonna show, Nick?
Well, I actually got a clip of Don. You probably this clip. It's not necessarily Christmas related, but this shows an idea of what happens when you do a scare prank like that and how it goes wrong. But it's still funny with the
Oh,
results.
you got to be kidding me.
What's the matter?
Number 20, Jack Frost 2, Revenge of the Mutant Killer Snowman.
Oh no!
Oh Jesus!
Night, Deadly Night is 17. There's one called Elves at number 22.
What?
Yeah.
Oh God!
There's another one called Santa Claus at 24.
I remember not seeing the movie, but I remember seeing the.
Are you guys going to do Santa's Sleigh with Bill Goldberg?
I'm considering it. I just gotta. I gotta see that movie because I only saw bits and pieces of it, but I want to see like.
Okay.
Would you?
If you are, I'll be on for that one too because I love that movie.
I was gonna say that might be a movie both Donald used to be because it has Bill Goldberg and you guys are gonna be talking about wrestling soon in a couple of weeks.
So yeah. I need to pull that up and watch that.
That'll be fitting for that, and also because we focused on a movie about a killer dressed up as Santa, but in Santa's Sleigh, it's supposed to be like actually
the real Santa.
The real Santa. Yeah.
So really quick, I'm just gonna show that clip about like what happens when you do a scare prank and it goes wrong. So watch this. I think it's funny.
Hey, we got 4 tabs open now.
Watch this. Oh wait, hang on. Sorry, the damn internet. See, it's just like what I was dealing with before, Don. The internet's been kind of going slow. Let's try it one more time. Okay.
Oh man.
That's what happens when you prank. They get kind of mad.
He got to drink all over himself.
That's
all over himself.
That's
movie that Jill
wait
suggested, Anna and the Apocalypse. That's number 9.
Oh, Nick, I was trying to say, that's technically assault what she did.
Well, that's according to what people are saying in the comments right now, a lot of people say that they're actually proud of what she did. She's like one comment here says she threw the car to drink so well. She's iconic.
Yeah. Better Watch Out is number 6. Krampus is number 5.
Oh boy.
Tales from the Crypt segment and All Through the House.
Yep, I know that one.
Number 4.
I love it.
Well, this in here is the 1972 version.
Yeah, they made
One
2
I know is from the 80s.
Yeah, from the TV show.
Number 3, Gremlins.
Gremlins.
Number 2, Rare Exports. And number 1, 1974, Black Christmas.
Yeah, all right.
Now, yeah, we definitely got to cover that Friday.
Yeah,
it'll be perfect. Covering it on that Friday nights. It's gonna be the night before Christmas Eve.
Yeah. Don, I gotta read this quick. I'm gonna read one.
And after you guys do that show, I am going to be doing a re-airing. Well, no, actually, I think I'm going to save that for Saturday nights. That Saturday night on Christmas Eve, I'm going to do a re-airing of the 13th Dimension Christmas special.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. Oh, here.
Guys, I'm just going to read one more comment from that video. And this is actually pretty funny. One guy here says, kind of wish they ordered hot coffee.
Oh.
They would be scalded alive if they ordered coffee instead. She
That-
did that to them.
That would have been a lawsuit right there.
That would have been a lawsuit. They would have been
yeah.
scalded, and that would have been quite a trip to the hospital.
Oh yeah, definitely. And
Well, maybe to the hospital, but yeah.
Well, they would have been scalded.
Well, the guy was wearing pants.
Yeah, well, no, he was wearing shorts actually.
Was it?
Yeah, it was. It was in the middle of summer. You could see that they were in short sleeves, so it was during the summer that they shot.
Oh, I thought he was wearing pants.
that.
Well, Billy is
They would have had a very bad day if they had black hot coffee thrown at them.
Nick. Billy is saying that Billy got his deranged ways from his crazy grandfather's words. Yep, that's pretty much what caused the whole thing. Well,
Yeah.
sparked it anyway. It got worsened as time went on, and yeah, it was crazy that opening scene. Like we're visiting the grandpa who's supposedly catatonic, but I don't know if he was like catatonic for real or it was all just an act, or if yeah, it was I thought that was strange.
So
It's almost like
actual Santa Claus that killed
Yeah.
Santa's play, yes.
it could have been like one of those Alzheimer's moments.
Yeah, kind of seemed like it. I've had experience with people who've had Alzheimer's, so I know what how that could affect some individuals.
Yeah. So, okay. Silent Night, Deadly Night, I thought was great for what it was.
Oh yeah, I thought it was fairly good for what it is, especially watching it during the holiday season. So
In spite of the controversy that
Which
followed
is-
when it was
Well,
first released.
Yeah, and it's understandable too. I mean, who wants a kid seeing Santa Claus going around killing people?
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
that I kind of can agree with. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I can say this film, not the best horror film, but still looks like a gem compared to its sequels.
Yes.
Definitely.
Part 2, not that good because there was a lot of trying too hard in terms of the acting, especially on the guy that played Ricky.
Oh yeah,
But he had that resting bitch face look. If he's mad at you, he's got that look that can really make you scared.
look that kills.
Yeah.
Keep thinking Ricky's the guy who yells out garbage day.
But once he starts laughing, game over.
Yeah, it's
It-
over for you.
That's where it's no longer believable.
Oh yeah, man.
Part 3. Yeah, when you got a character who's walking around with a big dome on his head,
Who could take that seriously?
right?
I've not seen
That's the only thing I remember of that one. And I've seen all of the Silent Night, Deadly Night. I don't remember what 3 is about. What 4 is about. And I don't remember what 5 is about. The only thing about Part 3 that I remember is that dome on his head.
That's one of the main things everybody remembers about Part 3.
I never saw part 3, so
Oh.
nah,
Not
too
the
Christmas themed.
but I like Fargo. Oh, yeah, Fargo is good. I mean, more than good. It's amazing.
I'd never seen it.
You should. It's one of Cohen's finest.
Coen brothers always do great work with their films.
Oh yeah, totally. I love No Country for Old Men. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Now, the Silent Night, the remake, not the best, not the worst. That one is kind of in between. I like the fact that they did base the story off of a true story, and they threw in elements of the first movie. But I would dare say that shouldn't even be considered part of the Silent Night, Deadly Night franchise, aside from those 2 scenes that they took from the first movie. Beyond that, there's nothing else that really ties it in with the series.
Okay.
okay, yeah.
What is sorry, I just want to say, what is Jill saying? Must see Jeremy, please.
Oh,
see Fargo. Must see
Fargo.
Fargo.
Yeah, probably Fargo. Now, speaking of Silent Night, there is another movie called Silent Night that came out either this year or last year, but I don't know anything about it.
I'll have to look into it. So, yeah, to wrap all this up, Silent Night, Deadly Nights is one of the was a pretty unique slasher for what it is, like back from back in the 80s. It's did well for what the limited budget it had some good performances, and goes down in history for like being like controversial when it was released, but still a fairly good decent slasher to watch. So yeah, I have seen better Christmas movies, but I have also seen much worse.
Yeah. If you want to see a really, 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 really bad one, One Hell of a Christmas.
One Hell of a Christmas. I remember hearing about
But
that.
I warned you, it is terrible.
I'm sure it is.
Good man.
Yeah.
You've actually seen it?
Yes.
It can't be
I
worse
haven't.
than Ginger Dead Man.
Oh my god.
What was that, Donald?
It can't be any worse than Ginger Dead Man.
So I guess we're gonna have to end it here because I got to get up early. And so yeah, thank you, Jeremy, and thank you, Donald, for joining us on this. This has been I've had a great time like chatting up with you guys on this.
A lot of fun.
Oh yeah.
And also, even though she's left a while back, thanks also to Adrian for coming on for a few minutes as well.
Yeah. Yes, thank you, Adrian, for joining us on this.
And thank you to everybody in the chat that's been playing along with the new ones that I don't recognize.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, one of them. Oh yeah, one of the new ones. Liam. Yeah, he's one of my. Yeah, he's one of my subscribers. Yeah, it's been a while since I've heard from him, but yeah, I'm glad to see him on here as well. So, yeah, thank you everybody for watching, and enjoy your holidays. And we'll be back on Tuesday, and maybe we'll talk about Santa's sleigh. You know what? Actually, yeah, let's go with that. Santa's sleigh. We're gonna next one.
That what you want to do, Santa Sleigh?
Yes.
I was gonna say, you know what that means. Then Jeremy would have to come back on that one too, and possibly.
Right. If you guys decide to do that one, I'll definitely be on it because I love that one too. Yeah. Right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this on TikTok.
I was gonna say that's almost like kind of like a pilot episode for both of you guys, Jeremy and Donald, because since you guys are gonna be talking about wrestling, and since we're gonna be talking about a movie that features a wrestler, it's like a pilot almost.
Well, that's really all. The only connection it is that it stars a wrestler. That's about it.
Oh man.
Oh, Don, we could do a show of wrestlers in movies.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's something we'll have to think about. Yeah.
Up to you. I mean, Jeremy. I mean, it's up to you too, Donald. If you want to, that is, if you've seen it, it's up to you.
I'll have to put it on my list between now and Tuesday.
Yeah. So it would be Tuesday at 8:30 p.m. Central Time. Yeah.
He's in the same time zone as us.
Donald. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Yes.
I mean, he was in
the
Mississippi.
only oddball for you guys.
What's that?
I'm the only oddball of the four of us.
Well, at one point you weren't, because Adrian was an hour behind us.
True. Yeah. True. But she's not. She doesn't come on here regularly. In fact,
No.
I think that might have been the only time she has been on this show.
First time. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
All right. So, hope you guys enjoyed this episode of Fear Fans. Please join us again on Tuesday evening when we go over Santa's sleigh. Until then, hey, Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays, everybody. Good night.
Take care. Have a good night.